Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it. But Johnny, we got to move on into our next topic. This is a topic that is a little near and dear to me.
Yeah,
one movie that we watched this past Friday was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
And a month from now, we're going to be watching a movie for my side of the comic book world in DC Comics in Wonder Woman. June 2nd is when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little under a month now until it does. And the main question we're going to ask today is, because we've already had the discussion of what's wrong with the DCEU, with the extended universe for DC. We've talked about Nightwing. Is there enough space for him in the DCEU? Well, today we're talking about, can Wonder Woman save the DCEU? And the reason why I wanted to bring this up today was it was a comment that Dave made to us. And I want to say it was the night we were going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. He made the comment of, you know what? Wonder Woman has to nail, has to be a box seller, has to be an amazing movie, because if it flops, it could be, well, he said, he kind of made it sound like it could be the death of the ECEU in that sense. And now, with me, I think the DCEU has two chances to really save itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman and Justice League.
Yeah.
However, if Wonder Woman flops, how many people are going to want to go see Justice League?
Exactly.
And that's the kind of conundrum that we're in with this. I am on the side of, I think it's not just me being optimistic. I think Wonder Woman can save the DCEU.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of and I'm the Marvel guy, so it's not like it hitting me as hard as it's probably hitting you, because this is your
because if it flops, your company wins.
Exactly. No, I mean we're winning, but we win even easier.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm hoping DC does well, and the thing with that is it's kind of a 3 strikes and you're out type thing.
Yeah.
What was the Batman versus Superman? I know you hated it. I thought it was okay. I guess there was too much.
Could not stand it.
There's too much stuff to it, honestly.
The plot point was, and we just talked about a great story in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
Think of the Ego the Living Planet storyline.
Yeah.
Now think of the storyline and the big plot twist for Batman v Superman.
Oh, I know. I'm not going to argue that.
Your mom's name is Martha? My mom's name is Martha. Oh, we have the same mom with the same name. Who would have thunk?
Come on.
Yeah,
really?
I know. The thing with the biggest thing is, I mean, it doesn't hit me as hard as you. You're more of the DC fan. You know
Especially
more about
Batman.
the comics.
Don't, and pardon my language, don't fuck with Batman.
Exactly.
You're fucking with Batman, you're fucking with me, Johnny. That's how we gonna do it here. That's how we do it here on the Rick and Johnny podcast. I'm
walking here.
I'm gonna go all Italian gangster style on you. Don't fuck with me, don't fuck with Batman. That's how we do.
As we say in Brooklyn.
That's how we do. It's how we do in Brooklyn.
Ricky, as we say in Brooklyn, I'm walking here.
And that's exactly it. And the reason why, and I'm glad you brought up Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
The reason why I think that Wonder Woman can save the DCEU is because what was the glaring positive from Batman v Superman?
Wonder Woman.
It was Wonder Woman. It was Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
I hope I'm saying that last name right. Gal Gadot. I hope. She was so good in that. It was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, that's Diana.
Yeah.
That is Wonder Woman. And
she fits.
With this moving over, we're kind of doing a little bit of kind of like what Guardians did in a sense. Where Guardians' storyline for Volume 2 wasn't the exact, it wasn't happening as everything that we have seen so far leading up to it. It was only 2 months after the first Guardians.
Yes.
Well, this is kind of in that sense. This Wonder Woman movie is happening well before Batman v Superman.
1940s.
Man of Steel. Yeah, it's the World War I, I want to say.
Two.
No, World War II. You're right. And that's the timeline we're in. But I think that Wonder Woman can save the DCEU because of her performance in Batman v Superman and what I've seen from her so far. And by the way, I forgot to shamelessly plug this at the beginning. the A Graphic Conversation's coming back later this month. I want to say it's the Friday before the Wonder Woman movie. Mark I and hopefully Johnny will join us for the first episode of A Graphic Conversation Season 2. We're going to be reading a graphic novel from Wonder Woman. Go and check out the schedule. I'll post it on Twitter and leave the schedule down below in the description. But yeah, the main reason why I think she can save this universe is because of what I've seen so far from her in Batman v Superman, because she was one of the only bright spots in that giant turd, which was BVS.
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier, though, too, is...
Well, you didn't think it was a giant turd?
No.
Because I thought it was.
You 3 strikes.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, strike 1, Batman v Superman. Strike 2, Suicide Squad. So, I mean, it's hit or miss. This is your hit or miss. You don't get to bat again.
Well, and that's a...
I'm going to say, though, I do think it could do really well. So far, the movie looks great. But the only problem I say with that is...
They're even making Aquaman look badass, and that's hard.
They are. Yeah, it is.
It's hard to make Aquaman, the kind of butt of everyone's jokes, look badass.
The only way I accept him is if he's the bearded, long-haired guy who eventually gets his hand cut off.
So Jason Momoa.
Momoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
who gets his hand cut off, and he's got the little Triton thing in his hand.
Yeah, that's the only way I accept Aquaman. But I'm saying I think she can do it. The only problem I'm more so just hoping, as opposed to saying she can, is because she was one of the highlights of Batman v Superman. But look how little we got her in Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I know.
Which is the little bit we got to do was great. I just worry because we didn't get a lot of it. So, I mean, I don't want to judge it on the glimpses we had, but just looking at the trailers as well, combining that together, I have hope that it's going to be really good.
You know what's another thing that's kind of making me a little nervous with this movie, though?
Yes.
This is the first, think of even Marvel or DC.
Yes.
This is really the first movie, because Marvel hasn't done this yet. Marvel plans to, with one of the symbols that's right behind you on that poster. They plan to with Captain Marvel.
Yes.
But this will be the first superhero movie that we see where it's, in this timeline of superhero era movies, where we see the main protagonist and it's just her. I mean, I know that Pine's in it as the kind of male role, the male to her star. And this is the first female hero that gets her own stage, where it's like she's the only hero out there in this movie. It's not like, oh, here's Wonder Woman with Superman.
Exactly. No,
it is Wonder Woman, and that is it. It's not like here's Black Widow, but then here's the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is the first time we're getting a female superhero with her own movie. Female lead with her own. Well, I was gonna say with her own movie.
Yeah.
Female superhero with her own movie, which means, she's the first female lead we're going to get in either comic book universe.
Yeah, because like I said, Captain Marvel's coming.
Yeah.
But it hasn't yet. They've done Black Widow, but they haven't done a Black Widow
Not by
movie
herself.
where it's just her. And that's another thing that it doesn't scare me, because like I said, I've seen Wonder Woman already in this universe. I like the Wonder Woman that they've proposed to me. And she was the bright spot of Batman v Superman.
In the darkness of Gotham.
The thing that I'm most worried about is the story.
Yeah.
However, I'm not worried about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that one of the storylines for Wonder Woman? Isn't there a World War II storyline for her anyways?
There is, and I know that I've heard things from behind the scenes of like they're modifying the origin story a little bit, because there's a couple different origin stories that people know, but the one that they're going with is, I want to say that she's the daughter of Zeus, and that she, out of all the Amazonian women, she has, because the mother says it in the trailer of she is special, but she can't know why she's special.
Yeah.
Because that's the scene where she blocks the sword and shockwave throughout everything. The thing I worry about with the story is, so far with DC movies, the story hasn't grabbed me in. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe it's because it's so fresh in my mind. I'm using that as the example.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that we just saw, perfect story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It had a great twist in it. It had character development. it had everything that you want a movie to have. So far, Batman v Superman, I didn't get that. Suicide Squad, I didn't really get that.
No.
The thing that's like, those two are scaring me in that point, but the thing that doesn't scare me is DC has, and we've talked about this, they've made the changes already, where Jeff Johns has come in, kind of overseeing the project, making it, and the big thing that they brought him in for was to make sure that the character that you see on the screen is the one that you remember from the comic book. That they are staying true to who the character really is.
Which is why the other thing I get gives me hope, because I don't think he got complete step in with this, because I think he came in partially through it, didn't he?
This one, and that's the thing, he came in partially through it, but they did make some changes.
Yeah,
they did,
which
do
is why
some
I got some
reshoots.
more hope with having him. I have more hope for it.
But I mean, look at and that's the one thing that I wonder, and why I say, like, you say the 3 strikes you're out, which I find it funny, the non-sports guy making the sports reference here on the podcast.
I learn something once in a while.
I wonder if people are going to say, if it isn't leading up to expectation, let's say it doesn't hit the expectation that we want, not like it's not like an astronomically great movie.
Yeah.
But let's say it doesn't hit the expectation for a solid movie where people are going in going, that could have been better. Even if that's slightly like, it was good, but it wasn't that good kind of a thing. I wonder if there might be some people that say, I'm going to give it a pass because Jeff Johns was like that excuse. And I know non-DC fans are probably being like, here's the DC guy coming up with another excuse. I'm not going to, let's give this one a pass. Jeff Johns wasn't in it the whole time. Justice League looks pretty good, right? That first trailer looked pretty good, right? I wonder if people are going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's possible.
And come out with that excuse if it doesn't hit expectations.
Oh, obviously people are. And for me, if it's going to be a big flop, I'm going to be like, it's not that I'm not going to go see them. It's going to be the fact that what else is coming out? What do I want to see then? Obviously, we're going to go see them because we're going to probably do reviews, unless you feel otherwise and feel like you've been scorned by DC.
Oh, no.
DC universe.
I will go see a DC movie. Like, here's the thing, and this is my loyalty to DC. If there's a DC movie going up against a Marvel movie, I'm sorry, Johnny, I will see the DC movie opening weekend and wait a week to see the Marvel movie. Only because I do not want to give that Marvel movie my money opening weekend.
See, I feel very differently.
Because you are on the opposite side.
Exactly.
You want to give it to Marvel and not DC opening weekend because you want that. Because I feel like if I go see both on opening weekend, I basically, no one wins because each got the same amount of money for my ticket.
Yeah.
That's my personal feeling.
That's my thing. I mean, Marvel to me is my universe. So I'm going to go with the Marvel one.
So if we ever get one where it's a Marvel and a DC, you'll go see the Marvel, I'll see the DC, and then we'll flip and we'll do the review a week late because we'll have to flip flop for the next weekend. But I want to have hope for this.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, so do I.
And from what I've seen, because we've seen enough, we're recording this Sunday night, and the MTV Awards tonight, we'll have our final trailer.
Yes.
It was one of those things recording this. I feel like we don't need to see that final trailer.
No.
Because I don't think anything in that trailer is going to sway me so far left or so far right.
I don't think so.
Like, there's not going to be something in that trailer that goes, you know what? Fuck it. This is going to be a bust. But I don't think there's nothing in that trailer that's going to say, oh my God, this is going to be the best movie ever. And the thing that I like that what they've done so far is kind of the same thing that Guardians did for Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
We know the villain is going to be Ares, or we think. We have a strong inkling that it's going to be Ares.
Yeah.
But that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything in depth about the villain for this film. And that is what I like. Give me some. Don't give me everything right away.
Just give me a little bit of something.
Let me come in and leave something to mystery.
Yes.
That's what I like about this. And I like that to where it's it's also one of those things that it kind of scares you at the same time. Because Wonder Woman isn't like my most known superhero.
Yeah.
Batman, it's like, oh, I don't care who the villain is. You can tell me day of, and I'll be like, boom, okay, no. The data banks are going through of all the facts for that villain. Wonder Woman, you could throw a villain at me, I'd be like, I might have to do some research on that guy.
Yeah, unless it's Cheetah, I don't know.
Unless it's Cheetah. But I mean, we haven't heard a ton about who the villain is, and it scares me because they kind of did that for Batman v Superman. It didn't turn out too well.
No.
However, Jeff Johns is on the project. Jeff Johns is overseeing things now. But I want something to mystery. And that's the only thing, watch, in this trailer, they're going to show Ares tonight, now that I said that.
Right.
They're basically going to show Ares, and it's going to flip me either one way or another, and I'm going to be totally wrong with what I said. But kind of to wrap all this up.
Make sure you say that in the comments. Tell him how wrong he is.
That I'm wrong, but you spooked me for a second, Johnny, because I looked up, and you were looking at the camera. That's how you guys are watching us breaking the fourth wall. But you looked up at the camera, and my first thought was, shit, did the battery die? And I looked, and I was like, no, it's recording. They can still see us. So you scared me a little bit there. But to wrap everything up.
Yes.
Can Wonder Woman, kind of final thoughts, can she save the DCEU? And what does this movie need to do in your mind to save the cinematic, or the extended universe? Sorry, me, for DC. Yeah.
Get your stuff right. You're a DC guy, get your stuff right.
I'm getting them all tangled up.
I think it has potential to do it. It looks like it has a great storyline. Let's make sure we develop the character properly. That's my biggest thing that I'm going to hit the DC universe with.
Character development.
Develop your character well, and don't throw too much stuff in there.
That's a big one.
The train wreck of Batman v Superman. My biggest thing on that one was not just character.
Too many heroes.
Not heroes. Just too much stuff in there. We had too many topics going on. So, I mean, those are my two things. As long as there's not too many topics going on, which it doesn't look like so far, and as long as we could develop the character, which again, we looks like we're doing, I think it's gonna at least save it enough for people to go, I want to keep seeing DC movies. Yeah.
And for me, it's one of those, if everything comes in and we get the same Wonder Woman we got in BVS.
Yes.
And we get that little bit of development, and it's one of those things where it stays true to the character.
Yes.
And that's the big thing. It's got to stay true to the character. Jeff Johns overseeing it. # in Johns we trust, or in Jeff Johns we trust. However you want to put it.
Which I think is a topic we actually went over, is always staying true to the character.
I am putting all my trust in Jeff Johns to save my DC Extended Universe. And the one thing I just looked up, Johnny.
Yep.
You want to know the other big movie, or the other movies that Wonder Woman will have to go up with that opening weekend?
What?
The first one is called Dean. I think that it can do pretty well. It's a separate genre altogether.
I think so.
A movie called Three Idiotas. And then here's the big one, though. This one might steal some money from it. Captain Underpants, the epic first movie.
I mean, now we have to see. Which one do we go see?
Oh, in that case, I'll see both opening weekend. I mean, I don't care if both give my money. Like Wonder Woman, they'll both give my money opening weekend. Wow, that might be a 3-podcast week. Man. That might be a 3-podcast week. Captain Underpants, that might be one I want to go see, Johnny.
Oh, we might have to do that.
We might have to do 3 podcasts, but you know the week after that's the big one. The June 9th, you know it's coming out then. We saw a trailer for it before Guardians.
Yeah.
The Mummy.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave immediately said, # not my mummy. Because he wants Brandon Fraser back. I don't know why you'd want that. I mean, he was kind of forced on us as a sex symbol, but everyone forgets about that. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Can Wonder Woman save the DCEU, and what does the movie need to do in order to do so? Let us know down below in the comment section.
Thank you everyone for watching the Rick and Johnny podcast. Click right here to watch another squanchy video, and let's get riggedy wrecked!